You're in for a ride, Jason. You're in for a ride. I brought everyone.
The whole crew?
It's a, it is the party has started. Mm-hmm.
Nice. Is this Daniel?
This is Daniel.
Hello, Daniel. Do you
Hello.
have anything you would like to share today?
Mm. We want to say, has everybody been enjoying the energy? And we know that that's a trick question because there's been so much going on with it. And we want to say that the sun has been quite an activator. If you have been out in the sun, you may have noticed that your energy is having spikes in it. They do not necessarily have to be out in direct sunlight to have the benefits or the perks of the downloads. Or for some, it might feel like the agitation of the downloads that are coming from the frequencies of the sun. But as some might call them sun flares or the Schumann resonance, if we're saying that right, whatever it is, however you identify with it, it is the intensification of the energy that is coming in that is amplifying, and we are in a portal at this time. And we hope that it is still something that is going on as this gets posted. It should go through to right around the 20th of September. There will still be the frequencies of this portal. And there's a lot of manifestation that can happen in this portal. And this portal, for some, if you are not watching your thoughts, if you are not watching what your energy is doing, you may be creating something you do not desire. And we ask you to just really pay attention as you are looking at the things that are coming into your reality at this time. Do you desire that? And if not, then it is time to check in. It is time to look at what is in my frequency. And it may not even be that you need to say, what is it that I'm thinking about, or what is it that I'm putting out into the world, but you need to say, what is in my frequency? And we say this because you are interacting with people all day long. You are out and about. Maybe you go to the grocery store. Maybe you go to some other arrangement, a celebration of some sort. You go to school, you go to work, whatever it is, and you are in other people's frequencies all day long. And maybe your frequency has been scattered from that. And so it is important to just check in and clear the frequencies from time to time and make sure that your frequencies are mirroring the energy and the vibration that matches the desire. So that might be a good one for everyone to just do in this moment, is just check in and say, where is my frequency and where do you want it to be? And what we want you to do in that is just to pick your most favorite color that comes to mind and just move it through the energy fields of you and your body, and just ask for that beautiful color to absorb all of the fragments and all of the static, leaving only that most beautiful and high vibrational frequency that is attracting into your world your deepest, most wonderful and joyful desires. And just feel it as it starts to calm and relax your body now, as you have already done that, and now it is complete. And then maybe you call that in for your home and for your family as well. Do you want us to keep talking, or do you have questions?
I do have a question. A question that come to mind, and I would like to get your opinion about this. Is the sun getting brighter versus 20 years ago?
Yes, the sun is getting a lot of things, and brighter. Brighter is one of the perceptions of the sun. And yes, it is changing, much as the sky has changed colors from 20 years ago as well. And it would take a keen eye to notice the difference. And even with photography, it is hard to tell that there is much difference in the sky because the quality of the cameras were so much different 20 years ago versus today. And so it would take a memory of what does the sky look like? What does the sun look like? We say to you, yes, it is. It is changing frequencies. It is changing in its brightness, and it is changing in its intensity. And now that we are in these frequencies that were brought in August, and we think we spoke of this before, it is allowing for some new energy to now enter into the earth realm. And the sun portal is one of those new energies that is it is bringing in a new frequency that has not been here before. And it is acclimating and activating quite a few on the planet at this time. We also spoke about the twin flames, the twin flame energy. We know that is what a lot of you here call it. But the soul merging, this is a time right now where soul families are finding each other, soul groups, and romantic partners that are in that soul group that often are referred to as the twin flames. The sun energy is activating a lot of that energy as well, and it is bringing people into the recognition of their soul families, their soul partners, and their twin or soulmate energies. And when those energies come together and recognize each other, that is an additional activation. And people may be feeling and sensing that right now as well. And that is always fun because that involves connection and love and compassion and human connection. We enjoy watching that part as everybody is starting to get along, yes, and amplifying each other and putting each other up higher in their frequencies.
Interesting. Would you happen to have any information of why the sun is getting brighter?
Let us look at how we would want to describe that and what resources we have to explain it. One of the things that is hard to explain sometimes is things that you do not have definitions for in this world. And again, we are working through Tracie, who may not have the knowledge around some of the information we would like to bring through, and that limits us. What we are seeing is the portal that comes in from the best way we can describe it is behind the sun, even though the sun itself is a portal. It is being activated in a different way. There's powerful forces that is moving the sun in a different kind of pattern and causing a different kind of, what would one say? When you are burning a torch and you turn the torch up hotter, it turns a different color, yes? Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
It is somewhat the same. There is a different pivot that has occurred with the sun. When the frequencies keep getting adjusted on the Earth planet, it is also affecting the sun in its orbit. And when it does that, it is like turning up that flame. It is making it a brighter burning, hotter burning differently. The gases are burning differently, and it is creating a different kind of light, and it is creating a different kind of frequency, and it is opening that portal up to a different level of reality, different realms that can now make their way in here and come in and assist in the ascension. Did that make sense?
Yes. To me it did. Well, thank you for that. The reason why I asked, because I know I do remember a couple of my coworkers last year was saying how bright the sun was. They're like, man, the sun's bright today. So just wanted to get a little bit more information from your point of view on that. So it sounds like with the Earth updating or upgrading its frequency, it sounds like the sun is doing the same thing as well.
Yes, as are all the other planets.
The other planets as well.
Everything is affected. It is all rippling into each and every of the planets and the galaxy, and so on and so on. One does not change without affecting the other.
Yes. Does the sun still have a long way to go for it to get to its frequency point?
Let us look at that. And
kind of like its upgrade, does it have a long way to go for it on its side?
we're trying to understand how we might bring that answer in, because we are understanding the question to reflect what is going on with the Earth as it is moving from a 3D to
Yeah.
5D frequency. The sun pivoting in from the frequency it is withstanding to a different frequency as well. The sun is, we are asking for assistance with that question, and the thing that came back is the sun is more advanced than the Earth. It is ahead of the game. It is a little bit, yes, it is going to be moving in sync with the Earth. It has to, or it will not all work. And so everything is evolving at the same, almost the same rate, as so to speak. You know, everything is, it has to work in its unison, or if one goes faster than the other, that could mess up the system, so to speak, or the galactic alignment. And so everything is happening simultaneously. It will all be happening, and we are lacking words today. That is what we are doing. We should have given this one a cup of coffee before we started. But we want to say that, yeah, everything has to be in the same alignment in order to create the most optimal outcome.
Interesting. You mentioned we call it the Schumann resonance or Schumann frequency. Do y'all call it something else by any chance, or any terms that y'all call it on your side?
Oh, well, we refer to these things as energy spikes or energy waves. That is the energy wave we were speaking of way back when we started talking about the August wave.
Mm-hmm.
And now we are into September, October, where the technology will start coming in, and that has already been noticed and starting to happen in sessions, and people are moving the technology frequencies into the into their downloads as the Ascension sessions have been progressing. And so we have seen that element come in. The Schumann frequencies are, and what we could best tell is measuring these spikes of energy, these waves of information, these downloads, the light language that enters into the frequencies and is available for everyone to integrate into their systems. That is what we believe the Schumann is picking up, and we notice that it has spikes in it as well, and shows when the surges of this energy come in, and the sun is one of the sources for that to come in, as is the moon, and as is the atmosphere itself carries a lot of frequencies. Everything carries a frequency, is how we should be referring to that, even the trees and the leaves and the air you breathe. And so when you set intentions to be in the most upgraded version of self, that would be pleasant. Then all of these new energies can acclimate to you and you can pull them in. And one of the things that maybe that would even help with is if you are setting the intention to do that on a daily basis, you may not get hit with it all at once when you finally go, oh, I should ask for an upgrade. I should ask for that download. I'm listening to Tracie and Jason and Daniel. I think I will ask for that. Do it every day so you do not get slammed with it all at once and then feel yourself spinning a bit. But as everyone keeps raising their frequency, their vibration, they should be just fine in these energy spikes. There should not be too much disruption in their day-to-day life. It is, as we have always said, it is the ones that are in resistance and denial that are running from that and dodging it, and then it catches up to them, and then it hits them hard and fast, and that can be a little bit traumatizing at times.
Interesting.
Did we answer your question?
I think so.
Okay.
I'll just take it and run with it. And you mentioned it, this deals with the ascension process. So this would be the Earth ascension process, or is this for everything, the sun ascension? when you mentioned the ascension process?
The ascension process is, yes, we refer to it as the earth process in this dynamic because that is the audience that we speak to. But the ascension is happening for everyone everywhere, and it is not to be limited. Take the limits off and expand that idea. The ascension is going to everyone everywhere. If you think about the solar system that the Earth resides in, think of it as it being in a little bubble, and the whole solar system is within this bubble, the whole galaxy in this bubble. And then you expand outside of that bubble and you see 12 more bubbles. And then you see this body or this entity that is holding on to all 12 bubbles. And all 12 of these bubbles maybe are a chakra system, much like the human body would have a chakra system. And it expands those bubbles into those chakra systems. And each one of those bubbles is going through its own ascension. And each one of those bubbles represents a chakra or a ray of light or however you would identify with it. And when each one of those hits their ascension, they will illuminate their light, illuminating that chakra. And when all 12 chakra systems illuminate, then that body, that energy body, gets to ascend into its next thing. So everything is tied together. All 12 of these chakra systems and each one of the galaxies within those chakra systems and the entity or the body, energy body that holds those chakra systems, everything ascends. Did we overwhelm you yet?
No, I'm just going with it, going with the flow. Interesting, though. Very interesting.
It does make one's mind wonder what goes beyond that, right? And
Yes.
at that kind of ascension level, what's next? And that is very exciting to find out. And that is what everyone is working so hard at moving this simple little planet into its ascension could be so key to something so much, much bigger. And it is very exciting. And so we want you to take the idea of not just the Earth moving into a fifth dimensional frequency, but just imagine the entire galaxy moving into a whole new frequency. And what would that mean? And what would that look like? And so we bring it on and bring it broader than ourselves. And then if that the whole entire galaxy moves into a next frequency and into its next evolution, and then it brings that body, that energy body that holds that galaxy into its next thing, we just cannot even wrap our minds around the many layers and the convoluted realities that exist upon each other. It is quite mind-blowing, and we hope that a lot of you will allow your minds to just open up to the ideas and the thoughts and the possibilities of what it could all mean and where we could all be going with this.
Very interesting stuff indeed. How is the Earth coming along with its ascension process? I know it's probably on track, but
Yes, we are going to give you that answer that everybody hates. It has already happened. It's already happened. And it is hard to understand how that could be when we are still over here on this timeline of it having the experiences that are leading up to the ultimate goal of the shift, as one would call it. But again, we do want to say it is the individual journey that gets you to the fifth dimensional reality, which gets you to the collective consciousness. So as you make your individual journey, it depends. Jason, you tomorrow could reach your fifth dimensional existence and maintain and hold that frequency for long periods of time and experience the fifth dimension, where Tracie over here could be stubbing toes and bumping elbows and staying in her third dimensional reality and getting frustrated and confused and blown over by bills and chores and work. And it could take her years before she reaches her fifth dimensional reality. And so we say to you, it is the individual journey that will get you there first. And then when you take that individual journey to love self and to find ways to make self happy and be kind, be a kind person and find your joy, that will help you get to your fifth dimensional reality. When you can maintain and hold that fifth dimensional reality, that is when you join the collective consciousness, and you will find your psychic abilities are highly tuned, and you'll be part of something much, much bigger, and it will be expansive and beautiful, and you will be there, and it will be there for you. And so it can happen at any time, but we do predict that as a collective, everyone making it to their fifth dimensional reality is on schedule, if not even a little ahead of schedule. And we know that is hard for some to believe, because they turn on the TV and they think, oh my gosh, we will never make it. But we say to you, watch all of it collapse. Watch it all collapse, and it will bring those to their knees that need to be to their knees, and it will rise those up that are ready to rise. And there are so many light workers right now. They are in the ready position, and they are waiting for that flag to be dropped and the race to begin, to reach everyone as the collapse will happen. And the doors will open, and people will, we explained it once earlier today, when the moment comes in, when a door will open, we talk of disclosure sometimes, the disclosure of all the different things, technology, of alien existence, of all the dirty, rotten things going on behind the scenes. And when that window of opportunity, when that exposure comes out for something that is going on behind the scenes, let's just use a very round number of 1,000 people open their minds in that moment, and they say, could this be real? Could I be wrong? Could I have been wrong all along? And there's that little sliver, that little moment where they question what's going on. And this energy is just waiting, waiting for that little door, and it's going to take it. And then the next thing you know, that person's now been seated. And then the next thing they're going to do is they may forget that they even watched that on the news. They go to bed, they wake up, and then the next thing they do, synchronistically, they run into an article or a conversation or another TV show that opens their mind just a little bit more. And then that energy is going to say, look at that, another open door. This is an invitation. The free will is saying, could this be true? Is when you have these windows of opportunity, when society takes that one moment where they are questioning that thing that they saw, or the disclosure that happened, or this little article, or this little thing that was said, that is their free will saying, I want to know more. And when that happens, that is when we are all waiting. We are waiting to jump in and to bring information and to line them up into the next thing that will give them more information and more information. And we are seeing so much more of that. And so what we want to encourage you all to know is that maybe from your place, from where you sit, you cannot quite see how expansive that the collective is becoming, because you are not seeing those ones who are letting that door crack open just a little bit. They're not quite obvious to everyone just yet. But we want to tell you that we have had a lot of doors crack open in the last month, and there will be even more doors as things come to light. There will be more and more people that want to have more information, and will start to do a little more research and find more of these beautiful channels and these beautiful places on the internet where they can find more truth. And then it is going to, what is it when something goes around fast? It goes viral. It will go viral. And we will watch a big expansion happen, especially in the coming year of 2020. There will be a lot of expansion, a lot of, we do want you to pay attention, because when you're in it, sometimes it is like when your hair grows, you don't realize how long it is getting, right? Because you see it every day, and it just gets a little bit longer, a little bit longer. But somebody that hasn't seen you in a month might go, oh my goodness, your hair got so long, right? Mm-hmm. And so, makes sense. Yes, and so it is kind of like that. If you are in it every day and seeing it, you may not notice it so much. But if you were to take a break from it and come back in 6 months and look at it again, you would be, oh my goodness, look at how many more people have joined this collective, how many more people have opened their eyes, and you would be quite delighted in the number. It will be a fantastic number. A lot more people will be coming into the light, and we say to you every time, even just one person comes into the light, comes into this awakening and goes steps closer to the ascension, they're going to tell somebody, and then that person is going to have their little seed planted in the same thing, and then they're going to tell somebody, and it ripples and it grows. And we say that often, we know, but we do want you to visualize that with us as well, because all of us as the collective seeing this future being bright and being healthy and being something that we can all embrace and love, that is just going to amplify that energy and help it happen that much faster. And you have more questions?
Yes, in a way. You mentioned so people will look for more information like this because of maybe they're getting a frequency update or a download or something, and they want to explore something that they're not familiar with. Is that kind of like what's going to happen?
That will be a big part of it. Yes, there will be a little truth bomb that maybe hits them. And, you know, some of the things that are coming to light on the planet right now, some of the things that are no longer being held secret and the public is gaining knowledge on them, that is going to get a lot of people to be like, well, what else do I not know? And when that invitation comes out, that is when the frequencies, that is the free will saying, I want more information. And when that happens, then those frequencies are able to be integrated. And the angels and the guides that have been following each and every one of you are going, yes, this is my opportunity to bring this information in. And now I get to guide you this way and this way and this way until I get you right here in front of this person who's going to tell you this thing. And then that's going to take you over there. And that's going to open this door. And the roller coaster ride will begin. So yes, that was a long answer, right? But yes.
I like it.
That is what will happen. It is the opportunity to plant the seed. It's like parting the soil and dropping the seed, and away we go. Now let's water it and watch it grow. So yes.
Sounds like there's going to be more videos that needs to be done.
Always videos that need to be done.
Can I get your opinion on something or your knowledge on something? In the future, is the sun going to get hotter or colder? Another source said that the sun is going to the planet is going to get colder before it gets hotter. And I just wanted to get your thoughts on that.
We see the sun doing something different. What we see with the sun is that the sun is changing. We don't even know how to explain it. Like you were using terms like hot and cold.
Yeah.
And we want to use more like frequency of light and dark. And so we have both dynamics going on, because the sun is what creates the heat. And then when it goes away, it cools down. Yes. And then there's so much going on here. But what we want to say is when the color of the sun is changing, the frequency of the sun changes, and that also changes the pattern of heat, I guess, as you might say, is the pattern of heat that comes into the earth plane that heats it up. It will be a different kind of heat. It would be like going from a wood stove to a furnace. Does that make sense? You have two different kinds of heat. You're getting heat from both, and you stay warm, and you're able to keep your heat that way, but you are using you went from a fireplace to a furnace. And we hope that makes sense.
Yes.
You get a different kind of heat from the sun than what you're used to getting.
Okay.
And your bodies will have a different reaction. And so what we think is happening is the body has to acclimate to the new source of heat.
Gotcha. Okay. Since one last question with the sun, for this one, it deals with, do they have humans or beings living inside the sun?
Yes.
How does that work? Is it?
There is so much on the planet that is an illusion. And so the ability to get to the inside of the sun, we are sure that you are thinking, how do they get through the heat of the sun to get to the center of the planet, right?
Yes, that can work.
Yes, and so what we say to you is there are many wormholes, many portals of, so to speak, of entry points before even reaching the sun, and that takes you directly into the center or into the civilization. There is so much more to be learned about the sun, so much more to be learned about the sun, as you said before. More videos, yes, and there are many aspects of the sun. The sun is like a maybe a portal station where you can reach many different points in the galaxy, many different points in the multiverse. It is a source of many different things. It is one of the reasons why it is what brings in the frequencies quite often into this planet. It is what brings in the codes. It brings in the language. It is a source of many things for your planet. It helps the plants grow. It helps everything grow. And without the sun, nothing would be alive here. And so it is that kind of a source. And then it is this dynamic. We don't even know how to explain this to you. If you were to go into the sun, it is as if it is its own universe within a universe. And there is so much more to the sun once you move through these energy fields and through the portals to get into this dynamic. And you know how you could have multiple realities playing out at the same time. It is happening there. You have all these different timelines, these portals, these realities playing out, and depending on which way you enter into that depends on which one you come out in. And so there is so much about the sun that is not known, and even we do not know. It is the one we speak through is laughing. She says it's much like the new cell phones. You know, I know how to make a phone call. I know how to find my email. I know how to get on social media, but there's still so much more to this phone, right? It is a portal to all of these different things, but yet there's so much more I could do with it if I knew how. And that is kind of what we say about the sun. There's so much to it.
I like that comparison. All right. Well, that was interesting because I heard that from another source and I wanted to get another opinion about it.
Of course.
For humanity with their ascension process, or is it humanity going in the right direction?
It's such a good question.
I know it's very odd, but you know.
Well, as a collective, it would be hard to answer that question. As individuals, more of the individual journey is successful than the collective journey at this point, but it is because it is impossible to have the collective journey be compared to anything until it is reached the individual journey. Does that make sense? Each person has to make their individual journey to join that collective. And so as individuals, every day more and more are getting on board, and that collective consciousness is going to form as more and more get on board with that. And then as that grows, then we will see the success of the collective, and not as much the individual journey, but more of the collective. So the question, yes, everything is on course. As a collective, that cannot be gauged until the individual makes the journey.
Gotcha.
Yes.
And is that because it's more, the individual journey is more important because everybody has their own timeline, their own reality?
Everybody has multiple timelines, multiple realities, and every day they're playing they're playing a game with which reality and which timeline am I going to be on now, and bouncing back and forth between these. And as we had stated before, the goal is to bring your timelines. Let's say you have 15 different timelines you could be playing with at one time, and you want to bring it down to maybe 3. And you just really want to bring your timelines in. And each person is doing that as they start to set boundaries, self-love, and doing things that make them happy, and no longer living their life outside of themselves, making everybody else happy. I'm mom, I'm the employee, I'm the caregiver, I'm the, I'm whatever. And once everyone starts finding their identity and bringing it in, it doesn't mean that they're not the parent. It doesn't mean they're not the employee. It means that they know who they are, and then they quit putting it outside here. And the boundaries start getting set, and they become more secure in themselves. They say, no, I don't want to do that today because I'm going to do this thing over here that makes me happy. And they start saying no, and they start taking authority over themselves, and they find the ways that make them happy and joyful. And when each individual journey happens like that, then the timeline shrink. You have less timelines, and now you have a smaller group. As you move forward, then it's easier to move into a collective. As you have, I think we mentioned before, you have billions and billions of trillions and whatever of timelines, and then you get it narrowed down as a collective. You get it narrowed down to this little handful of timelines versus this mass collection of timelines. As each individual has multiple timelines, you're now bringing it in as a collective with maybe 10 timelines. And you see the chaos. The chaos goes from to, oh, that's doable. That feels smoother. That feels calmer. And it doesn't take away the free will. And in fact, I believe we talked about this before as well. You are not losing your free will in these timelines, because what happens is you go from trying to be what everybody else wants you to be, which brings out multiple timelines, because you're trying to be what mom wants you to be. You're trying to be what dad wants you to be. You're trying to be what the boss wants you to be, the kids want you to be, the spouse wants you to be. Those are all timelines. Those are all realities and different things that you have to conform to. You're bringing it into you, which makes you the individual. What do I want to be? What do I get to be? How am I individual? How am I unique to this world? And you bring it down to that timeline, and maybe 1 or 2 extra timelines with that. And so if anything, this collective energy, you get to be more of who you are in this collective energy of minimal timelines versus this crazy amount of energy with multiple timelines. Does that make sense, how you're thinking?
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
Yes, I like it. And you answered my question, but it also led me to another question. Or you can confirm, the reason why we have multiple timelines, is that because we create our own reality?
Yes. Yes,
Okay.
that is very true. You don't need us to expand that, right?
No.
Everybody has their own reality, and they're all right. Everyone is absolutely 100% right. That is your reality, and that is your experience.
I've heard. You mentioned free will. If we could touch base on that one, that has always been a question of mine. This planet is a planet of free will. Can you give me an example of a planet that does not have free will? What does that look like?
It looks, well, we want to say it doesn't look much different than the one you're on, because the planet with free will that you live on, a lot of people do not understand how the free will works. And so they are easily tricked into forms of slavery or forms of doing things that they do not want to do. They have the free will to say no, and they don't have to do it. And another planet without free will, you might be conforming to the laws of whatever that planet is holding over you, and everyone must conform to that, and there is no saying no to it. And it is very rare. It is not to say that there are a lot of planets out there like that, and that
Gotcha.
this is not like, oh, this is a very unique planet because you have free will. There are many, many planets with free will. It just means that Jason, we could not do something to you without your permission, just like we could not speak through Tracie without her permission. If she says, no, I
Right.
don't want you here, then we're gone. And um, you give permission for these things, and this is your body. And what we do want to say, though, is sometimes when it is not a no, it is a yes, right? And so when you do not know to say no, then there are energies out there that will play on that and create a scenario, or create an intrusive way of um, being in your energy anyway.
Mm.
So, and oftentimes people are tricked to have energies be part of their energy. They may be told that it is something else, and or be lied to, and that is a violation of free will as well, because you do not have the correct information. But there are many planets with the free will. Very few planets without free will, actually, but the ones that do not, it is, they are very simple minded, if that may be a word or a phrase we can use here. It is a very simple planet, and it is very structured, very routine. Um,
Like strict laws, like very
the,
strict.
yes, it's strict laws, but the one we're speaking through says very boring, because everybody is doing the same thing. She's seeing like Stepford wives, is how she's saying it in her head. The Stepford wives, they're all wearing the same thing, driving the same car, living in the same house. And it is very, it is not unique, and it is very conformed. And it is more to do with maybe a two-dimensional world, something that is not as evolved. And so that is, it is a tricky one to answer.
Yeah.
And yet it is a reality that is out there, and it is one that could be looked at. um, but it is, as we are working through the mind of somebody that has free will, it is a little harder to find the words and the descriptions and the something to relate to convey it to you. So we hope we did that okay.
Yes, this it was pretty good. So, but yeah, because that was kind of like one of my other questions. Is the majority of the planets that are out there seems to be free will? It's just very few don't have free will.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. Since we have 10 minutes left, do you have anything for 2020, or would you like to share something from someone else?
Let us see if
Choice.
there's anyone else that would like to come in and share. We had 7, you know.
Oh, maybe we need more than 10 minutes. You might have to ask Tracie for that one.
What the 7 would like to do is form a circle around you. And for each person listening, we mean you. And what they would like to do is form a circle around you. And we'd like you to imagine that they are each holding their hands up as if to create a dome of energy around your body. And as this dome of energy is being formed around your body, you are accepting and receiving healing on the highest frequency possible. For those of you who are experiencing any illness, any discomfort, any ailments, any fragmented parts of self, we are calling these illnesses, these fragments, these aches and pains, the turmoil, the emotions, all of it, to be healed and complete. We would like for you to experience this healing. We would like for you to just allow for your body to absorb the new frequencies, the new energy of the new world. You are part of this new world already. You are part of this frequency already. And just allow for it to acclimate and integrate into you now in the highest and best good, and always in the highest and best good. We call it in for you. We can only do this with you allowing and opening the door for that. So if that is a desire for you, please do that. We do want to shower you in this glorious energy, and bring you into a love frequency, so that you are ready to receive and accept and commingle in this beautiful energy of love, and so that you can be a participant in the new frequencies that are coming in. And if you would like to be a participant in the new energies that are coming in, it would be very important for you to open your heart chakras and just say, I would love to be open to this love energy. I would love to be open to the expansion of love on the planet. I would love for my energy to amplify the energy of others who are also in this love frequency. And as we all join together and amplify each other's energy of love, and we send that out into the world, and we connect with all of the others who are activated in the same frequency and the same love. And we call in the partnerships of these soul families. We call in the partnerships of these soul relationships, these connections that are so deep and so bonded that they are beyond this lifetime by many, many lifetimes. They go beyond Earth life itself. They are so deep. And here you are celebrating on this earth at this time, celebrating the ascension. Ah, that feels good to say that word, celebration. Feel your arms lift in the air as you celebrate and you rejoice in the fact that you are a part of this beautiful time where things are rising up. Things are rising up, and this earth is rejoicing in its new frequencies. As a collective, let's all see this earth being highly successful and the people on it full of joy, and the plants and the animals and the air you breathe, everything full of joy. And just allow for that frequency to be with you for a moment, and then another moment, and then another, until you hold this frequency and this thought as a consistent vibration. And then you'll notice that your reality around you is starting to mirror this vibration back to you. And you will notice that you are in this energy all the time. You are in this energy of love and this energy of a beautiful connection with others. And this beautiful planet we live on will start to look greener, happier, lusher. Everything on it will be thriving and doing well. And that will be your new reality. And you will be happy, and you will be drawn to do things that make you happy. And when you are happy, you are giving other people their permission to be happy. And we know we have said this before, but it is true. People will see you be happy, and they will want to be happy, and they will want to know how. And you will say, you just be in love with life, and love others who are in love with life, and support each other and lift each other up, and see each other all ascending together and doing this as a collective. You are beautiful beings, and we know that you all have great power and great abilities within you. And we want to activate those within you as well. So it's time to step forward. It is time to open up to your activations. It is time to step into your empowerment. It is time to feel the strength that is in each and every one of you. It is time to remember who you are. And we invite you right now in this moment to remember who you are. Feel the strength course through your veins as your body is feeling youthful, healthy, strong, and free of pain and disease. That is who you are meant to be, and that is who we welcome. As the seven are around you creating this dome of energy, we want you to now thank them. With great gratitude, we would like to say it has been a pleasure to be with you today. And we thank you for all of you who reach out and talk to us. And for those of you who have called Daniel in, and yes, we have learned today that there are many that call in Daniel as a helper. We absolutely are thrilled by this. And Daniel is absolutely thrilled by this, as the one speaking right now to you is of the Imperial Council, which is part of the council that Daniel is a part of. And it brings us all great joy that you have embraced us as you have. And so we thank you. And we just shower you all in our love and our gratitude. And we commend you for your courage. And we are so excited to keep moving forward with you, and that you keep coming here to see us in these videos. And we hope to make many more and to create bigger bonds. And we thank you again for being part of our collective. And that is what we have for you today, Jason.
Well, thank you very much. Could you tell us who are the seven?
The seven are Octorians that are part of the council, of the Imperial Council, and also of the Council of Light. They are ones that bring in high frequencies of love and compassion, which are the same frequencies that will raise you up out of your feeling of disease and illness and pain. And that can be emotional pain or physical pain. and it lifts you up out of fear. And so that is what they were bringing those frequencies in for each individual today.
Sounds good. Is this still Daniel?
This is the Imperial Council.
Oh, okay. Well, thank you very much. Is there anything else you would like to share?
You are doing a great job, and there's many, many wonderful changes coming in for you. And we want to just relax and know that everything is taken care of, and that
Go with the flow.
go with the flow. There will be some changes, and this is for the collective listening. There will be some changes. Some of them will be uncomfortable, but they are leading you to something magnificent. Tracie is saying in her head, she said, "Oh yes, I was awoken the other day with the words imminent change coming." And then it was reinforced with, "But you will be happy and it will be good change." And that is what our message is for all of you. Imminent change is coming, but don't worry. It is leading you to something wonderful. And it doesn't mean that the change has to be something that is uncomfortable. But for those of you that are experiencing discomfort with the change, something that is stretching you a bit, rather from sadness or from taking you out of your box and putting you in a broader spectrum, we say go with it and enjoy the ride. And we do want to remind some of you, as we have noticed in the reality of Tracie, that this is happening. We want to remind you there will be a lot of people checking out, a lot of people leaving their bodies. Their time is over, and we want you to know that that could be part of your change. Not that you are leaving, but that somebody dear to you may be leaving their body. And we just want you to know that they are going somewhere so beautiful and so wonderful. And we are here with you to help you, support you through this transition if that is something you are experiencing, the loss of a loved one. That could be one of the changes that people will experience. And we want you to call on us, and we want you to call on your councils to come in and support you. We will be there.
Well, thank you very much. All right. Last question before I'll let you can answer this, or Daniel, either one. At ESETI, we did channeling in person, a group channeling. Was that a good idea to do, and should we do more of those, and what are the benefits of it?
It is a beautiful thing when you can do these in a live session, and the benefit of that is that the frequencies of the collective, as they are gathered in the same room together, is amplified. So when you can do this in groups, when you can bring like-minded people together in a smaller area, as we do this as a collective in the YouTube, everyone is scattered about, and it is still a connection that everyone is able to make. And even though you're listening at different times in different places of the world, we are still a collective. But when you can bring everybody into say a room or a circle or a space, sacred space, you are going to amplify that energy. And that energy is going to activate people on a much higher level.
Nice. Perfect. All right. That's all I have for today.
Well, then we will let you go, and we will bring Tracie back into her body. And Daniel is in the background waving goodbye. And so
bye, Daniel.
We will let him come in as well. Hold on. Yes, I did not want to have you all just leave without saying goodbye. It is like hanging up the phone without saying goodbye. That is no fun. You sit there and, well, what was that? And I don't want to do that to you. I do not want to just hang up the phone. I appreciate and love all of you. I am so grateful for us to have this time today, and I thank you for this journey. And wasn't that fun to be in the light of the seven under all of that energy? We enjoyed it. And I just want to thank you, Jason, for bringing us in again. And
thank you.
Sounds like the dogs are saying goodbye too. We like okay, we will let you go, and we will bring Tracie back in.
All right, sounds good.
We'll see if we can get through that without the dogs barking. Nope, we're not going to. Anyway,
how was it?
A lot of information. Well, being in that that meditation piece just really rocketed me out of the body. I was just like, yeah, that's what I needed. Okay. So yeah, that
That
was
sounded like some
pretty cool.
spiritual healing.
Yeah, that was I could see them wrapping around. Um, it was almost like I could see all these little pods of 7, you know, around each person that's listening. It was pretty cool. Yeah, I could see multiple of them. So yeah, it was neat to see that.
Okay, nice.
Yeah.
Um, did you have anything with the sun? Did you?
Oh my gosh, the sun, I don't even know if it's actually a, I was trying to figure that out. It's like, is it a physical thing or is it a hole or like a you know, like a big portal that we see as a planet or this ball of sun. But as they were showing, as you get closer to it, there were certain spots, and if you knew where to go, that would take you through, and it would shoot you out somewhere else. And so they were showing how people were could use it to move through everywhere. And then when you were asking about the inside, um, I don't even know how to describe that. There was just so many. Oh, what's that movie? Now I'm gonna forget the name of it.
I don't want to say too much.
Why can't I think of the name of the movie? Um, oh, I almost had it. Anyways, it's the one where, of course, the humans go and blow up the planet because that's what we do.
Mm.
And
Mm.
I can't think of it. But I'm gonna drive myself nuts. Anyways, in that movie, they had to put special goggles on to see the other dimensions, and then they could go shopping. And like they dropped them off, and it's this big desert. And then they put the goggles on, and all of a sudden,
Oh, you talking about the
Ballay.
movie? Yeah, you talking about the movie I mentioned. Yeah.
Yeah. And so
In
they
that
put the
other
goggles
video.
on, and then there's a whole nother dimension there, and then they could go shopping. And then if they took the goggles off, then that put them back in the desert. Um,
Mhm.
I mean, those ideas come from somewhere. I would say that the concept of what they did in that movie, you could apply that to the sun. What, you know, they have all these different. It's like a stopping point or portal, whatever.
Right. Right.
What did they call that? The planet of 120 planet or whatever.
Thousand worlds, 1,000 planets.
1,000 worlds, yeah, something like that. So it'd
Um,
be kind of like that.
right. The reason why I mentioned that was because in one of Dolores Cannon's books, they did say stuff similar to that. Like, there's a lot of information that we don't know about the sun.
Oh, really?
So I started smiling when that was said. I was like, "Oh, this is good. This is good."
Oh,
And the whole concept, like you don't believe it, but there is people, beings, you know, life inside the sun. You don't
yeah.
understand it, but there's life inside every planet.
And it's not hot in there. Yeah.
You,
It's
right. Something
that's
like
the outside shell.
right, like
So,
there's an outside shell and an outside energy ring,
mm-hmm.
and you know, and there's a core and there's a planet. You know, it's its own little planet.
Yeah.
Uh, but that was pretty cool.
Yeah, that was
That
wild
was one
because
of those
I'd
off the
never,
wall questions, you know,
it
that like
was.
I'm gonna see what they have to say about this.
I'm kind of glad you did because I would have never even considered that as, you know, that wouldn't have crossed my radar. So I would have been like, oh, yeah, that's kind of cool to look at that. So
Right. And then I was like, how do I ask that question?
it was a good question. And yeah, it was very expansive in the mind what they were trying to show me. And I'm sure if I had a better concept of how all that worked, I could have gotten in a better description of it. But yeah, that was kind of cool to see. And there's so much we don't know.
Yes. That was in one of her sessions that there's so much that we need to learn about it, that and stuff that we can't see that the sun
Well,
does.
and I remember her saying that they're giving us a little bit and letting us acclimate to that, and then they're going to give us that next bit, and then we have to acclimate to that. And if they tried to tell us how it all worked now, there's no way our minds could comprehend it. And when you asked that sun question, I could understand that. I was like, whoa, what's happening here? We've got like multiple dimensions going on at the same time, portals going through here, 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 here. You can go, that'll shoot you out over there and over there into that reality, different time loops going on.
Yeah, it made me feel better because that was similar. So you made me, it made me feel better once when all that was coming up, but like it's a gateway, you know?
But a gateway to so many things.
Yes.
Yeah.
And another cool thing, this is for the people watching, that was pretty cool from her books. The way they explain it is like the sun has, well, I'll take a step back. The earth records everything that happens on this planet. And it's like a recording device. And it's so much energy that it gets stored that it goes to the sun. And then all the other planets shoot their information to the sun. And since there's so much stuff going to the sun to record and data and everything, that's why it's so bright and so much energy bands. They call it like energy bands. And then it could shoot to all the other suns, and then it gets grouped all together.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
So that's why you were saying portals and all that. I was like, oh, okay.
That makes sense. Yeah, little super highways of some sort.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was pretty cool.
Yeah, that's kind of fun. I love it when you surprise me with something and I'm like, where'd that question come from? Because I'm in there, it's conscious channel. I'm in there going, oh. So I'm like curious going, what's going to come in?
Why is Jason asking that question?
Yeah. Very fun. And then also the little the openings, those with the human consciousness, those little openings of doors, the way that I kept seeing that is like like when you watch lava come down and you can see the cracks in the lava and the hot lava underneath it and stuff. It's like they were showing it to me kind of like that, like the mind opens up just that little crack and then you got that little opportunity to get in there to that hot. And gotcha. I don't know why they were showing it to me like that. Everything was a metaphor to me. Phones,
because
hair, it was like everything was something. But that's okay. It helps us understand it.
Right. Because we don't have the words for it. And how do you explain that? But yeah. Was anything coming through on the planet without free will?
It just felt very plain.
Yeah.
I think they were calling it kind of two-dimensional. I couldn't relate to it. And so I think that's where they were struggling, is because I was having a hard time relating to what would that look like to not have free will. And then I was trying to overthink it. And I couldn't get out of my own way is what was happening. Right. Because I was trying to think, well, what would that look like to not have free will? If somebody's bossing you around, wouldn't that be them having free will to boss you around? And so I was in my own head too much on that question.
Gotcha.
So that might be answered better by somebody else. But yeah, I was in there challenged by that question because I was trying to think about it going, what would that look like? So I may have gotten in the way.
Oh, it's okay. It's all right. I had an idea, but I don't think it ever came across in any sessions or books or anything like that. So
what's your idea? Why don't you share that?
I don't know. I had to ask. I would think that kind of like everybody's on the same page, that even when you try to have your own decisions and your own, concept, that it gets changed because everybody's clumped up together. That's kind of like what I was thinking with free will. Other than someone boss, like being very strict and laws, enforced on you, it's just that everybody is on the same page. Everybody does the same thing.
Yeah. That kind of was the Stepford wife thing.
Yeah.
That's kind of
I had to think of that movie. I was like,
yeah, they're all dressed
that movie in so long.
Yeah, I know. It's kind of funny that's the thing I remember. I can't remember the cool movie with all the spaceships. But yeah, anyway.
Nice.
So,
All right. I try to keep it under an hour. Is there anything else?
well, I'll be traveling, so this probably won't get to happen again till October, and then you're going to be traveling a little bit. It sounds like it also. So we're going to try and
Yes.
get together, you guys.
Be patient for the next video.
Yeah, it may not be impossible to do one. You might see a hotel room in the background.
Ah.
Because there are a couple of days I believe that I have free, not this next week, but the week after, I believe. So I'll have to check and see what those days are and get back to you.
Yeah.
But if that
Yeah.
works, then, and if I can get my laptop to work, I was having sound issues with it. So if I can get it to work, or even use my cell phone at that, if that's the case, then
Yeah.
then we can figure something out and maybe do something quick. Because
Right.
I'm going to be going to Mount Shasta with, what is that, Telos, the group that lives in the mountain.
I figured the name. I thought it was part of the Ashtar or Ash.
Yep, that's another group. So
Okay.
if anything comes of that, that might be fun to talk about, and
Mm-hmm.
we'll see.
Nice. All right.
Lots of
Cool.
exciting things coming. So
Yes. Yes. I'm excited. I'm excited.
yeah, very cool. All right. Well, I will let you go have your evening, and we'll see
Yep.
the collective next video. Bye,
Take
guys.
care. Good night.